Hello everyone and welcome back to the Calham64 LP Retrospective, and today we're going to be looking at Mega Man X for the Super Nintendo, an LP that I did which came straight after Mario vs Donkey Kong, and oh wow, this one. I have a lot to say about this one also because it was completely different compared to, everything else that I tackled on my channel before that and things, because ever since, the start of my channel and that, I did LPs of games that I had already played, so I already knew what I was talking about and stuff and, trying to show off the game. But just to be different, what I mainly did is when I, announced that Mario vs Donkey Kong was not going to happen anymore, basically saying that it was unfinished, I remember that caused me to decide to do a blind LP. And if you're not familiar or so, with what they are, it's basically where you play through a game that you've never played before in your life, showing your reactions and people laugh at you, basically. That's pretty much the whole gist, of what a blind LP is about to me anyway. So, yeah, what happened was I got bored with Mario vs Donkey Kong, and I wanted to find a game to do that just, was quick and easy for me to jump into, and for me just to have a different change of pace and things, and oddly enough, I chose Mega Man X. Now, the reason why I chose Mega Man X might honestly shock you, actually. It wasn't really the fact that I was like, yeah, I want to play some Mega Man and stuff. That was actually nothing to do with it. Or maybe it partially was, because before that, I played Mega Man 2 for the NES and enjoyed it. And I heard about the X games and I was like, wow, they seem really cool. So I jumped into it also. But really, the real reason why this series existed in the first place, why I decided to do Mega Man X, I kid you not, was because of Smooth McGroove's acapella of the stage select theme from the game. I don't know, it's just, I remember back then also when I found Smooth McGroove and I subscribed to him and listened to some of the acapellas that he made and stuff, the one of them that he released in around February, I think it was, or maybe even the beginning of March, as far as I remember also, he did an acapella of the stage select theme, and that alone made me want to play the game. I don't know why. I think it was just the fact that, from listening to the acapella version, I then went to listen to the actual, version from the game and found it so badass and stuff. And then I just ended up listening to most of the soundtrack, and just the soundtrack alone to Mega Man X, it made me want to decide to do a full blind LP of it. That's literally the reason why. The music. It wasn't anything to do, of like the gameplay and stuff going on, because obviously if I looked at the gameplay, it wouldn't be blind. And that's the thing, really. However, oh boy. Okay, I will say that it was quite challenging in a way. I wasn't really expecting Mega Man X to be that much of a difficult game, to be honest. And in ways, I do kind of sometimes regret doing this as like a blind series, because I just thought, oh, it's for the Super Nintendo, so it's going to be a little bit easier compared to, the NES titles, which, well, yeah, I do agree it's easier than the NES titles in my opinion and all that. But it's not easy. It really isn't. There was a lot of challenging things going on and all kinds of stuff like that. And I don't know. I remember though just recording episode 1 because, what was it? This actually made me try out different things where, like with Mario vs Donkey Kong, where I used the SNES adapter, where I plugged in my Super Nintendo controller and that into it and stuff. That's what I was using while playing Mega Man X. That's the thing that felt really different to me in a way, I suppose, when it came to doing Mega Man X. The fact that I was using an actual game controller designed the same way that Mega Man X was supposed to be played. Because, you gotta remember in that, when I did, like, emulation and stuff, when I first discovered it, I was using the keyboard as the controller. The arrow keys, the B and the V on, like, the keyboard and stuff. So to actually hold a Super Nintendo while playing, a Super Nintendo game, or at least a Super Nintendo controller and stuff, I just thought it was really weird. It was weird and so comfy and stuff, and just, I don't know, I just had a lot of fun with it, really. And it seems that a lot of people had fun with the series too, because, oh my goodness, like, what the hell has happened to the series and stuff? I remember, like, releasing it, all the way back in, like, 2014 and that, just thinking, yeah, let's play some Mega Man, And I didn't expect it to, like, do this well for, like, views and stuff going on, Nowadays, like, all the episodes and that, every single episode of, like, Mega Man X and that has somehow just done really well, particularly the first one, which currently to this day has, like, over 5,000 views. Like, how? How in the bloody hell did that happen? I tell you, that is the time where I wish that time travel was a thing. Imagine what it would be like if I could literally go back in time, you know, to 2014 and then just find myself recording it and say, dude, guess what? In a couple of years' time, that's gonna hit 5K, bro. That'd be fantastic, man. But honestly, I don't know why you guys have really enjoyed it to that kind of extent going on, because honestly, like when I look at the LP nowadays and that, at some certain points and stuff, I do find that my commentary like is slightly lacking going on, but I suppose it's because I was playing Mega Man and I was just concentrating on what I was doing, so I wasn't able to go off topic and explain about other things and stuff, you know? But let's just say, okay, when I did like Mega Man X2 in 2016, I'd rather prefer to watch that when compared to my original one, which was Mega Man X. Mainly because just, I don't know, the commentary I find is just, it's a lot better and stuff, and, you know, it ran in like 60 frames per second, and why? Why did I do this, okay? I know a lot of you probably don't really care about this, but it really bothers me to an extent, okay? I hate how I recorded Mega Man X, you know, in full screen. Every episode in that, you know, is going to fit the whole border and any device in that, and it looks like it's in widescreen, which is wrong, because Mega Man X was designed in like a 4:3 aspect ratio, therefore it should be cropped down with borders, which I eventually did, by the way, in Mega Man X2, and you can see, you know, just when you look between Mega Man X and Mega Man X2, which one is better? Which one actually looks more, you know, scaled to the right size of all the stuff going on with the action and things, you know? It's just, I don't know, it bothers me. I'm very picky with my aspect ratios and widescreen formats. Oh, not to mention, it was also like the same with Mario vs. Donkey Kong as well. Something I forgot to point out also was the fact that the controller I was using, you know, was the third-party Super Nintendo controller. I explained more about this in the previous episode if you're curious of like this retrospective. And that squeaked a lot, like a whole freaking lot, you know, in places. You could hear it on the mic, and I don't know, I just find it quite funny. I just remember every time I heard the squeak from the controller, it always like threw me off in places. Not in terms of gameplay, but just the commentary. I was like, oh god, it's squeaking again, that's not good. Yeah, so, memories of a squeaky controller. Somebody needs to write a book about that. This, of course, was when I used another type of emulator as well. Honestly, Mega Man X kind of gave birth to, like, new things for the channel and stuff, with me trying out all kinds of stuff, you know. Because Mario vs. Donkey Kong was recorded with, like, Visual Boy Advance and the emulator and stuff, and, you know, I first used Visual Boy Advance back in 2013 with Sonic Advance 2, so all I literally used emulator, you know, emulation-wise, and that was NES and Game Boy Advance emulators. But when it came to Mega Man X, I used SNES. And that was really different also. It just felt really strange, you know, to be like playing a Super Nintendo game on my PC and stuff and run it using an actual controller. Like, I don't know, I just remember the whole experience from it being so weird. But that's the thing, see? I mean, honestly, I did actually buy the game on the Wii U Virtual Console, just to show, you know, that I did actually buy the game and I wasn't really causing any piracy and stuff going on because, you know, emulation. But obviously I couldn't record it on my Wii U because, well, I didn't have a capture card then, so I had to revert to in the end, you know, was just emulators and screen recorders. So that's the way I had to do it. Oh, but I know what people are gonna put down in the comments below for all the stuff that I've got throughout this series, and yes, I do kind of regret this, okay? A lot of people, in fact a ton of people also for this series, you know, have posted comments and stuff basically saying that, oh my god, this is not a full blind playthrough or so because you're playing the bosses in the order of weaknesses going on, and, you know, they just hated the fact that I did that and I never really announced it. But here's the thing, okay, this is something I always find completely hilarious, and this is just an example of how oblivious and stupid I am in life sometimes, you know. It's the fact that the reason why I didn't announce, you know, I was looking up the order of weaknesses is because I didn't realize I actually was. Like, literally all I did, guys, when looking, you know, for which Maverick to go for next or so, you know, just to make this easier instead of me constantly dying for finding that I was going on the wrong Maverick and stuff, because I just wanted to get the LP going, because otherwise, you know, it would be episodes upon episodes of me choosing the wrong Maverick and having more of a hell of a time. It was my first blind playthrough and stuff, I just wanted it to go smoothly, you know. But what I literally did, okay, was just, when I looked up the Maverick, I literally just looked at the main. So I'd be like, oh, Boomer Koana, okay, cool. And then that was it. I just literally come away from the page and anything. I wouldn't look at, the enemies in the area, or the stage layout, or where the heart tanks were, the sub tanks, etc. I didn't look at any of that, because otherwise it really beats the purpose of it being blind, you know what I mean? If I know how the level works and all the layout and stuff, then there's not really much point to it. But the stupid thing, okay, is the fact that I was looking at the order of, like, which stuff is recommended to do Mavericks and stuff, even though I didn't look at anything about it, just the name, is the fact that every weapon I got from defeating a Maverick, that weapon was supposed to be used for the next Maverick I was fighting. I never knew this, which is really stupid, because, there are, like, some episodes in that you'll find where I'm just fighting this Maverick and I'm like, oh my god, I can use my X-Buster and stuff. I don't know, I just find that really funny, to find that the way I was playing the game and stuff was actually each Maverick, I was doing, like, in the order it was telling me, and that was the weapons that I got were the weaknesses for it, yet I wasn't even aware of this, so I was just playing through it normally, defeating, like, most of the Mavericks, with my normal X-Buster and stuff. It's just, I don't know, I find that really hilarious, really, looking back at it now. So to anybody who says, screw you for looking up the order of the boss weaknesses, screw you! I just say, well, I didn't really. I looked at the name, and that was it. I remember another really strange thing I decided to do as well. To completely capture, the experience of as if I was playing it on an actual Super Nintendo, I decided to do, a thing where I wouldn't use any save states at all. Not in terms of, like, if I die, or, like, on a Maverick and stuff, I'd be like, oh my god, save state, load state, yeah, I'm so good at this game, look at me. None of that stuff going on or anything. It was, like, literally, when I got given the password screen, I would literally write the password down, like, on a sheet of paper, or maybe even print screen it just for convenience. And, next time I booted the game up, I would put in the actual password. Because, that's what you would do back in, like, the time of the game's release on the Super Nintendo. Because there wasn't any save states or anything going on, You just had to write down the password and then put it in like that or so. So that's what I did, to actually capture the full experience. And I suppose, yeah, it was cool. It did really capture the feeling of playing it on the Super Nintendo and stuff, I find. But when I did Mega Man X2, like, a couple of years later, I just basically booted the game up. Because, on the Wii U, because it was recording on the Wii U and stuff, it just completely continues from where you last were, so there wasn't even any need in a save state at all, So, yeah. Also, god, I did make this project a bit ambitious or so for, like, Mega Man X, because I chose to basically collect I basically chose to collect every single thing in the game to make things a lot easier, because one of my friends known as Luke, and that who had played the game before, was basically recommending that it's good for me to find everything to make the final boss a hell of a lot more easier, A good thing too, because even with all that, I still had a hard time on the final boss. That's honestly my biggest memory also when it comes to Mega Man X, the final episode. I remember just being there for hours and hours, trying to beat Sigma, because you had to get through all 3 phases without dying once. And you gotta remember, I didn't use, like, any save states or anything, So every time I died, I just have to, like, go back from the beginning and learn my mistakes, because, well, that's just the way I am as, like, a gamer, really. Save states to me, and I just find I don't really like to use them. If I die, I die. I learn from my mistakes and I try again, That's just the way I work, really. But I remember, when trying to beat Sigma or so, even, like, on the second form, as far as I'm aware, as far as memory recalls, anyway, I was there for, like, literally 2 hours straight on a single recording, and I still couldn't do it. I was really aggravated by the end of it, and it was basically burning me out, of trying to record it, because I just wanted to record the final episode of Mega Man X and get every single thing done, of the LP, basically. And I remember it was like late at night or so when I was trying to record it, but I couldn't do it. So I literally just came away from the game, and I ended up talking to a friend on Skype about it, and she actually cheered me up or so, really, when it came to it, because it made me feel a lot better, because I was like, oh my god, I can't beat this boss, and it's stressing me out, and I got to get it done for the episode and stuff. I want to get Mega Man X finished, but she calmed me down and stuff, and it made me a bit more calm and collected. And the next day, literally in the morning, because I was more calm and collected, I just tried again. And literally, like within half an hour or so, maybe about an hour into it, I eventually did finally beat, Sigma and basically beat the whole game and stuff, and that was super freaking satisfying. Like, I'll always remember, the finale or so where I showed the full feature of me defeating, the third form of Sigma uncut, like in full audio and everything. Just, I don't know, I thought it was more climactic and stuff, like for an ending and stuff going on. Because you can just see me basically learning from my mistakes and then dodging all the stuff that Sigma sent towards me instead of getting hit by it continuously, I don't know, I just always remember that finale, just being super satisfied when I saw that health bar reach, all the way from the top to 0, and then just seeing Sigma die and everything, it was so freaking satisfying, man. And that's pretty much all the memories that I have, from doing an LP of Mega Man X blind for the Super Nintendo. It was an entirely new thing I tried out with this whole blind mechanic going on. It was super fun to do, really satisfying at the end, defeating the final boss. And it's just an LP in that I have fond memories of, and I just remember a lot of things about it, and it makes me really happy to find, that people over the years and that have enjoyed this LP and stuff, as well as me enjoying making it, recording it, and having a good time playing some Mega Man X. People have enjoyed watching me do it and stuff, so, to find it just over the years do so well, and that makes me really happy, and because of that, it caused me to do Mega Man X2 in 2016. And I still have plans, even to this day, to do Mega Man X3 for the Super Nintendo. Because X2 also did well. So, it's in return, basically. But yes, I reckon I'm gonna call it, though, for this LP retrospective of Mega Man X for the Super Nintendo. Because there's not really much else to talk about. I've kind of dissected everything I wanted to explain in this LP. Except, good God, okay. The footage you've seen right now basically just shows you how familiar I am with the game nowadays. I mean, if you go back to like episode 1, and just see how slow and stuff I was learning everything, and then you go to now seeing all this gameplay in 60 frames per second and me just plow through the game as if it was nothing, you can see basically just I've been playing the game a lot in my spare time ever since, I completed it and stuff, and I really enjoy it. But yes, yeah. This has been an LP retrospective on Mega Man X for the Super Nintendo. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and join me next time where I'm going to be explaining about my next LP after this, which, oh man, even more memories flood back with this one. This is Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped for the PlayStation. Oh my god, wow, this is going to be fun. So yeah, take care guys, I hope you've enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next one where I'm going to be talking about some Bandicoot. To see the next episode of this retrospective series, go to here. To see the full playlist of this series going on, go to here. To see the original LP of the one I have critiqued, go to here. Or even consider subscribing to the channel by going to here instead. Thank you for watching.